Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my Sunday Soulful Conversation. I'm Charlotte McGinnis, and as always, I want to thank you for taking the time to join me either live at 11:11 or at your convenience. And just a reminder, some of your friends may want to watch this and aren't on Facebook, so you can actually send them to my YouTube channel, where all my talks for many years are archived. And that is youtube.com/Inspire YOUTV. So, or you can just go on to YouTube and do a search for my name, Charlotte McGinnis. And just a reminder also that the prayer ministry is here to serve you, and please feel free to submit your prayers, requests, and we will get the team praying for the greatest degree of love in all ways to be done. And we're going to talk more about prayer after Easter. Definitely just a couple more weeks till Easter, Resurrection Day, a wonderful day and all that leads up to it. And so it's a wonderful time of year. Next week being Palm Sunday, and then we'll have Easter in 2 weeks. And I will be doing Easter from Jekyll Island. I'll be on vacation for a few days, and that's very exciting as well. So moving forward, today, if you knew, and I'm going to get into that a little more detail in a minute, but before I go there, we're going to see how I was inspired to choose this as my topic this week. And it started, we have a cat, Bella. She's 11 years old, and this cat's interesting. She's a barfer, always has been a barfer. Good morning, Janet and Marie. And so taking her to the vet over the years, some cats just barf, and never really had any issues. And then we had a situation a week or so ago where she wasn't eating at all. And she usually was right there at her food bowl twice a day, same time, like clockwork. But she not only wasn't eating, she was very distant, hiding downstairs, and couldn't figure it out. So anyway, Marie and Janet, it's great to see you. And anyway, so we took her back to the vet, spent a small fortune, and had all the tests run like a good kitty mama. And not surprising, the test came out fine. And not sure why she chose not to eat and why she was feeling this way, but it's not healthy for cats or really anyone not to eat. So we were concerned, and I put it on Facebook, any feedback, and got just gobs and gobs of great suggestions. And I want to thank everybody and appreciate it so much, because over the years, sometimes I'll say to people, "Are you on Facebook?" And they're like, "Oh, no, I don't. That's awful. No, I don't do that." But to me, Facebook is a great way to engage like this, right? On Sundays, I find a lot of wonderful inspirational material and quotes and things of that nature. I get to keep up with my friends and new friends and see what they're up to. So I don't really use it as a means of anything but uplifting and support and interaction. And not just this one time, but many times over the years, it's been a helpful means of support. Even a few years ago, we had a sick dog in Nantucket, and I went on the Nantucket Facebook page while we were up there, and sure enough, there was a lot of support telling me exactly where to take the dogs and so on and so forth. So it's a good thing. And the one thing that it made me realize was, wow, there is support. We're never alone. There is support if we just open our hearts and minds up and see that the universe is friendly. Einstein's quote, the most important question that we should ever ask ourselves is, do you believe that this is a friendly or a hostile universe? And whatever your answer is will be your return in kind. So the more we sort of clear our stuff and our fear and our projections and judgments and unhealed aspects and whatever we do, and open our hearts, this is a very friendly universe, but sometimes we're not able to see it. And the support is always there for the asking. And it could be on Facebook, it could be many different ways, but that was just an example like, wow, you know, we're really not alone and there's support out there. Because to be honest, I was very nervous and not sure what to do. And I think I even sent this out after I went to the vet. So that being said, I even had a friend, and I was putting it out there. I said, boy, I hope somebody with who knows a veterinarian or something could call me and see if they knew anything. And sure enough, I got a call from a friend whose daughter is a vet and told me what she would suggest. And I asked Bella's vet if we could do that. It was an appetite stimulant, and yay, she started eating, and she's ravenous now, and all is well. Well, another wonderful instance and an example of how the universe is always here to lift us up and support us. Ellen and I have been talking now for several months about the need to have some repairs done on our exterior of our home and get it painted. And, it's a big deal, and not really, we had it done 10 or 12 years ago and didn't really do the job. Wasn't a very good job, unfortunately. And so it just never looked right to me. So I put it out there, not even like, universe, show me somebody. But wouldn't you know it, I get a call a month ago now, it's been a month ago, from a friend, Israel. Haven't talked to him in a few years. He's a master carpenter, contractor, super guy. He just texted me, I believe, first, and said he's starting his own business, a painting business. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like crazy. So sure enough, crew came over, fast forward, the house looks awesome. The repairs are meticulous. It looks like a brand new house. Once again, the universe is here to support me. Thank you, God. It's all just setting ourselves up for that vibration of knowing and understanding that we are always being taken care of if we choose to see it and open ourselves up to it. Hey, Mary Beth, good to see you. Happy Sunday. So we are here. We're not alone. This is a friendly universe, not a hostile one. And sure, there's lots of turbulence and things that are happening out here in the world that can be perceived as fearful and dangerous. But again, get to your heart. How can I be of service? Don't be scared, be prepared. And when I say be prepared, get a little food and water, whatever it is. Make sure you have pet food. Prepare your heart, most importantly, because it's not what we've talked about for 30 years now in here. It's not what's happening out here that's the issue, but rather how we respond to it, how we engage with it. So it's all about healing my perception. A shift in perception is the miracle. So I can shift from fear to love. I can see this universe as here to support me and friendly. And in kind, I attract wonderful things in my life. We all can. So Pope Francis, he had said this years ago, and after, I don't know which catastrophe, but doesn't really matter. The point is well taken, well said. He said, we are not alone. We have many brothers and sisters who in this moment of catastrophe came to help. And we too, because of this, we feel more like brothers and sisters because we helped each other. And I think that's so important. Let's just say that he was speaking of 9/11, which I've heard many stories from people who were actually there. And although it was catastrophic, it was horrible, it was fearful, there was lots of deaths and casualties, and it was a horrible physical event on planet Earth, to say the least. And yet the people that were there, rather than engaging in the fear, their hearts took over and they were of service. They went and helped each other, and they didn't say, oh, I'm not going to help you because you're a different color skin or different ethnic, or you're gay or straight, black, white. It didn't matter at that moment. It was souls helping souls. And sometimes that, even in the midst of hell, which that was an experience of hell for those people, they were able to go beyond the experience and put themselves out there to serve. And through that experience of helping each other, we're all lifted up. So even in the midst of catastrophe, there is love at work underneath. Sometimes it's harder to see when we're looking at a lot of fear and turmoil going on, but there is always that light and love beneath the surface. So community is a key way to connecting and building friendships and you know, doing what we can to clear our own stuff, clear our hearts, because ultimately this world, we talk about it every single week, is a mirror, and I'm a magnet, and I'm going to, we live in a vibrational universe, and whatever vibe I'm creating is what I draw into my life. And if I'm not healed in a certain area or what have you, I'm going to attract in the perfect person or situation to teach me that which I have not yet learned to forgive. And by that, I mean that I'm just, it is what it is. I'm choosing not to judge. I'm just choosing to recognize it as an opportunity of forgiveness. So every moment is an opportunity for forgiveness. And so the more we heal our stuff, our vibe attracts more willingness. I think the more we heal, I'm more willing to open up to bigger possibilities, and I have more faith, and I'm not afraid anymore because I realize that all is well. And with my soul, all is well with my soul, right? So Orson Welles said, "We were born alone, we live alone, we die alone. Only through our love and friendships can we create the illusion for the moment that we're not alone." And I thought that was interesting. You know, we live and we die. We're born, live, and die alone. And so through loving and friendships and relationships, we create the illusion for a moment that we're not alone. And I find that interesting. But let's just take it into a little different context, is that, you know, ultimately we are alone. And if we're not happy with ourselves, we're the person we look at in the mirror every day, we're going to feel very lonely. I know people that are, I've become very much a homebody. I love to stay at home. I love to have friends and in and out and cook and garden and clean. That was not the Charlotte of the past at all. But it's peaceful to me and I love it. And so I don't have this need to go out and be in big groups anymore and go to this party and that party. Not that there's a thing wrong with it. That's just where people are. But I know people who are very content and never feel alone, and they may be totally alone in their home. And then I know people who are at every party and every event, what have you, and they still feel disconnected and alone. So it's really, again, the world is mirroring to us what's inside of our heart and mind. So the more we get on this path, I think that we realize, or I've come to realize, and I'm sure you guys have too, is that synchronicity and flow of everything. And you know, life is meant to flow. I look at the model of, for example, Chinese medicine, acupuncture. And they talk, the whole model is based on that if there is a illness in the body or dis-ease, it's because there's a block of energy. There's also many other medical teachings that sort of align with that model. So if you can unblock the flow, then you open yourself up to health. Well, I say that's physical, mental, emotional as well. Find the block, bless it, and unclog the flow, right? And the more we do this, the universe in kind mirrors back to us that, wow, there really is synchronicity and connection in all things if we just open ourselves up to see it. And it's just been amazing over the years. I had a group on Friday, my book group, Course in Miracles. Been going for a long time. Zoom. Everyone's welcome to join. And anyway, we get off on conversations beyond the Course, but it's all the Course, right? And we've become friends over the years. So basically, it's just a place where we can share, and we're like family, and we have people all over the world in the group, and it's very cool. So we were telling a story about Arlene and how we met this wonderful woman who I met in Florida 30 years ago, and we were introduced by a mutual friend, Ma Jaya, and Ma was a guru who did a lot of work in the HIV/AIDS community at the time. And actually, Arlene was volunteering at the children's Connor's Nursery, and it was a beautiful place with AIDS babies, babies that were born of mothers who had AIDS. And it was really a special place. We'd go there and visit, and Arlene had met Ma there, and she goes, "You got to meet Charlotte." Fast forward, this is lots of synchronicity events happened. So much so we go to the ashram we used to take groups up there on weekends, and Ma's talking one night about her life in Brooklyn, and Arlene's like, "I'm from Brooklyn," and then where'd you go to high school? So they have it with 100 people, this conversation going back and forth. I went here, so did I. When'd you graduate? Same, year apart. Both dated Harvey Keitel. Very interesting. But besides that, Ma's telling a story. She was in poverty as a child, and lived under this boardwalk and these homeless people took care of her. And she mentioned that this wonderful man who used to feed her every day, he was a butcher, and he would give her the best cuts of meat, and she'd go in and he'd feed her. It turned out it was Arlene's father. So, long story, there's a lot more details, but wow, that moment to me really hit like, wow, there is great synchronicity and flow. And Arlene, we've remained friends. She's a little bit older than us, lives in Vermont, but super woman, and still, connect on a regular basis, comes to the groups and so on and so forth. So there's, what allows that to happen? Well, I think we have to be open. I know people who, I don't have any friends, I don't know what to do, and I'm like, well, open yourself up, give. Service is huge. Go. I do believe one of the greatest roles of churches. I'm ambivalent about the church thing, but I see value of it in it definitely. But there's other things that, whatever, it is what it is. But I do think a wonderful thing that churches have to offer are a positive support system, connection, spiritual family, which is huge. So I always say to people, go to church, find a spiritual center, because you're going to find people there that are supportive and going through their stuff and wanting to do and be better. And I think that's very positive. Volunteer. Look at your own garbage. See where you're stuck in your story. And, make yourself someone that people want to be around, number one. If you're sitting here telling your, woes of the day, it's not necessarily something that a lot of people are drawn to. Not to say that good friends are there for just that purpose, but the point is, be positive, be an influence of good, of change, of service, and then just see what gets drawn in to your life. Because life is not alone life is not what you alone make it. Life is the input of everyone who's touched our lives and every experience that enters us. And we're all part of one another. So, it is a conglomeration of all the things in our life. It's a tapestry of every event, every connection, every encounter is a holy encounter, as the Course says, for in that encounter we'll find ourselves or lose ourselves. So we see that we're exchanging, and sometimes we're playing the role of healer, and sometimes we're in the need of healing. And so we are back and forth in this exchange of energy. So we're all a part of each other. We're not separate from God. We're not separate from each other. We're not separate from anything. We're a part of the universe, and we're all vibrational beings, and we have the free will to what vibe I'm tuning into. And every time I tune into the vibe of good and love and forgiveness and peace, everyone's blessed, because it's just one big quantum energetic field, and it's awesome. So building friendships is huge. I would also say that, you know, the tricky thing is, you don't want to try to trick the universe, okay? I like the idea of building escrow, and you can't say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to tithe so I can get, you know, money back or whatever. It really has to be an expression from the heart. Everything does. But I do believe that the more we look at our own darkness, forgive ourselves, and live from service and kindness and gratitude and compassion and generosity, that we are building escrow. And so we are building this up, and the universe may not give it back to us immediately, but it comes surprisingly, like knowing that, that wow, we are taken care of. And it's like this mystical energy out there, like, where did that come from? How did that happen? I could have never figured that out myself. So boomerang, the boomerang theory, which I love, life being a boomerang, right? And I got to tell you something about this exact thing I'm going to share. I had put this into my talk, the idea of life being a boomerang. What we put out, and I did not speak it. I thought about it, and it was going to be part of the talk. And 5 minutes later, Facebook, this quote came up, the boomerang theory. So, thank you, universe. So it's always listening. You know, it's kind of weird. You know, we think it's AI, but, you know, it's bigger than that. It's the universe is always listening and tuning in, and it's here to support us. So what the boomerang theory, what may that be? Well, whatever energy we put into the world eventually comes back to you. If you give peace, you attract calm. If you lead with love, you find connection. If you throw hate, it returns stronger. Move through life with fear, and you'll see danger everywhere. But move with courage and intention, and life meets you with better paths. Whatever you give is what you get, so choose carefully, because the universe always sends it back. And I look at that kind of like karma. I do believe we can step out of the karmic wheel, but the point is, what we put out comes back. You put out hatred, you're probably not going to draw much light and love into your life. So put out the good stuff and watch it boomerang back. And so to the topic today, the title of my talk, where it came from, and it's one of my favorite quotes from A Course in Miracles, and it's simple, it's powerful, and it is, if you knew who walked beside you on the path that you have chosen, fear would be impossible. So I love that, because if you knew who walked on the path, walked beside you on the path that you have chosen, we've chosen all of it, fear would be impossible. So the Holy Spirit always has his or her hand out. All we have to do is put ours out to meet him. And when we do that, we're never alone. We're never alone anyway. We just accept the gift of connection, and we're not pushing it away. So this goes back 60 years. I can't believe I'm that old. But I can remember as a child, when we'd go to bed, our father would put us to bed, and he would always recite this prayer, the 23rd Psalm. And it is a prayer of safety and protection. And it was a nice, peaceful way. You know, as a kid, you don't appreciate it. You're 4 years old. You're like, But, you know, it was always nice to hear him recite it and go to sleep with that. And I'm going to share this with you because there's a couple of things here that are reinforcing exactly what we're sharing. And the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And I love that. And it's just so comforting and just another truth, knowing that we're not alone. And the phrase, your rod and your staff comfort me, symbolizes divine protection and guidance. The rod represents strength and defense against threats, while the staff signifies gentle guidance and support. Together, they illustrate how God, as the Good Shepherd, provides care and comfort to all who believe during difficult times. This imagery reassures us of God's presence and loving discipline in our lives. And so I really love this because these times are very fearful. They're uncertain. I mean, and you can certainly go down the rabbit hole of fear. But just remember, I'm not diminishing the what's happening in the world today, and that I'm not saying it's an easy thing to be going through. But if we plug in to exactly what we're sharing here today and know that thy rod and thy staff they comfort me. They give us strength. They give us guidance. They give us comfort. And that God is always in our lives. If you knew who walked beside you on the path that you have chosen, fear would be impossible. And so there's many expressions, teachings that are there, you know, scripture, philosophical, spiritual, common sense, you know, whatever it is, there's many thought systems that support exactly what I'm talking of. And in Philippians, I can do all this through him who gives me strength. If I tap into the ego is going to tell me 1,000 reasons why I should be afraid, and then I reinforce that, and then I put out that vibe, and probably that boomerang's not going to bring back anything but more fear, right? So plug into source. We're never alone. We always have strength coming from that. God is our refuge, our strength, and ever-present help in trouble. If God is for us, who can be against us? So all of these are reminders that we aren't alone. It's just what voice are we choosing to tune into? What channel? Am I choosing to listen to WFEAR or WLOVE, right? Just change the channel. That's all we have to do. And I think that this is also a beautiful something I think we've all heard at one point in time in our life. This poem, it's written by Jesus, signed by Jesus, and it's called Footprints in the Sand. And I'm going to read this, and hopefully it showers you with peace and comfort in these difficult times. And Footprints in the Sand. One night, a man had a dream. He dreamed he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene, he noticed 2 sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to him and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed many times along the path of his life, there was only one set of footprints. he also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times in his life. That really bothered him, and he questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said, once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I've noticed during the most troublesome times in my life, there's only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, when I needed you most, you would leave me. And the Lord replied, my precious child, I love you, and I would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, that was when I carried you. And I think that's so beautiful. You know, what a shift in perception. His perception was, well, I was in my darkest times, you weren't there. But yet we were carried. We're never alone. The angels of the universe, the guides, the masters, friends, I mean, put that vibe out there and see what happens. Pray and ask for support and comfort and guidance always. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? And when we live from that intent and desire, we just open up the floodgates for good. And it might mean the world around us is not responding necessarily the way I think it should, but rather once I know that I am not alone in this world, and I'm safe, and that the truth of who I am is changeless, formless, and eternal, and not affected by this. And the big one is, it's not the situation of what's happening, but rather how I'm receiving it, how I'm relating to it. And peace is always an option. Peace comes from love, from God, and asking and connecting. And so Marianne Williamson, give her the final word here, and I will read this gratefully. Thank you, Marianne. She says, go forth in confidence and go forth in peace. For there are angels to your left and angels to your right. Angels in front of you and angels behind you. Angels above and angels below. Angels below. You are loved and you are not alone. So, thank you for tuning in. I hope that brings you a little peace and comfort for the day, or for this crazy world that we're living in, and just know that we're not alone. We're not alone. We have the blessing of getting together here on Sundays and connecting that way. So do that which serves peace for yourself and for the world, and you're not alone. Thank you so much, and have a great week. Namaste, everybody.